Hello, hello, hello. What is up, everyone? It's your host, Simone.
And I'm Nafise.
And I'm Macy.
Okay, I was like, what if you go? Welcome back. So I was thinking it's a new year. I don't know if I should say happy new year, but it's a new year. We're in 2023, which is a mouthful to say. And I'm ready for 2024. I'm ready. I know we're almost at the end of January. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. Too much. Personally.
Are you trying to tell me that the month of my birth hasn't treated you well?
It treats this year, no. But January is great because you were born, Macy. So that's the only reason why I like the month of January. Happy belated birthday, by the way, on the show.
Yeah,
you are
happy
officially 26.
Wow. You're officially in your late 20s. How exciting.
No.
You said no?
Oh, yeah.
Any changes? Any feelings?
My back hurts slightly more than it did last year. That's about it. But that could be because of my job.
Those are the signs of your late 20s.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already in so much pain. How's it supposed to get any worse from here?
Oh my god. Just a decline. This stupid pandemic, it flashed before our eyes. I cannot believe I'm already in my mid-20s, let alone going to be in my late 20s. I don't know what's happening anymore.
I mean, aren't we technically still in a pandemic?
I don't think it's ever really going to end. I mean,
at this point, it's just...
I think it'll phase out at some point.
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, they're forcing us to live with, which is sad.
Yeah.
But
I feel like maybe I'm not in the right situations for it, but I feel like it hasn't really affected my life as much this last year because I don't have to wear a mask at work. We don't really take any specific precautions for anything. Like, I feel like it's normal again, but maybe I'm not going to the places where it's more like...
I was going to say, to be fair, we are in Florida where things are a bit more open access.
Relaxed.
Yeah, relaxed.
Yeah.
I mean, but we've never had any restrictions to begin with, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I had to... It was hard, like, initially, when I had to stay home from work and we did everything on Zoom and I had to wear a mask everywhere in public and whatnot. But there are nothing around me that enforces it. No, like, local businesses that I go to, my work doesn't. We don't even have to stay home anymore if we should stay home if we get COVID, but they don't, like, force us to take a certain amount of time and to, like, come back with a negative test anymore. It's just if you feel better, you feel better. So
interesting.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
I don't feel like that's a good thing.
They still give us COVID days, though. As part of, like, the school policy, they give us, like, 5 days for COVID. That doesn't come out of your own personal time, which is good. But at the same time, it's like you have to come up with all these different documentations to prove that you even had COVID, right? But yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't really ask us for anything. Like, and I don't have, like, COVID time off. I, knock on wood, to date, still haven't had COVID.
Me
like,
too,
ever,
knock on wood as well.
Same.
So I don't know, you know, like, I feel like it hasn't really affected me because I didn't have it to begin with. I had to go through, like, the hard times at the beginning, but now I feel like the last year has been pretty normal.
Yeah.
Like, my family even flew from California to see us this Christmas, which they haven't done in years because my cousin's super afraid of COVID. It had, like, she was pregnant when it initially started and she had another child since it has, like, fizzled out.
Pandemic babies.
Yeah, so
she did quotes since people can't see, so
yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I have to, because, like, sometimes we're very sarcastic and I'm like, does this translate well through audio? So
it doesn't. I probably should, like, we need, like, a sound or something.
Quote
whenever
unquote.
I do.
I'll have to find. I mean, I usually say quote unquote, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to start incorporating sounds or something.
Right. And I still see people in public wear masks.
I still do, to be honest, depending where I go. Sometimes it's also kind of like one of those things where, like, if I'm feeling bummy, I wear a mask. But, like, even then, I also just think because I work in healthcare, and no offense to seeing how healthcare is, like, I'm just waiting until it's clear, which, again, as we just said, don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I just, if I can, I do.
Yeah.
It's just, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't really care. Why are you so pressed to see my face, first of all? Does it really matter that much?
That's so funny because, like, I still wear a mask at school and the kids are like, Miss, we've never seen your face. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just focus on the content.
Exactly. What setting am I in right now to where you are so hard pressed? You need to see my face. What is seeing my face going to make a difference of what I do? That's like this TikTok I came across, this girl that like was telling about her, still recently, especially with like everything being lifted, working in retail, and she still wears a mask because she feels comfortable wearing a mask. Yeah. And she did like this one scenario where she's trying to help a customer and the woman's just acting obnoxious, like she can't hear because of the mask, which at some points I understand, because like if you're hard of hearing and you're used to lip reading, maybe that's one of those things where I know when the pandemic was very heavy, people were coming out with those masks where you can still see like your lips, especially for like people with like hearing impairs or disabled. So I understand that. But the way she was saying it was a scenario where the woman was just being,
annoying.
Yes.
Lack of a better word.
Privileged.
A Karen.
I was trying to avoid saying a Karen, but we've overplayed the word Karen and it's lost its meaning. So
I feel bad for all the genuinely nice people named Karen, though.
Right.
But anyway, that's just
what's the male equivalent of that? What's their name?
Chad. I've heard that.
Yeah, Chad makes me think of a frat guy with like muscles from steroids. But what's the equivalent of like the ones that are like very, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say this. Never mind. Again, we going back to the, should I say certain stuff or should I keep that private when we're not recording?
Yeah.
That's the dilemma for this new chapter, this new year of the podcast. It's fine.
I mean, we don't have to pick a sacrificial name to call people. Just don't be a jerk in public.
Right.
Yeah.
Or be a jerk at all. Like, just mind a business. It's not bothering you. I think people just want to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have some, like, complex going on that they just have to be right. And they can't admit that any other people can have their own feelings and opinions about things.
Yeah,
so,
I don't even bother arguing with people like that.
That's never going to change. That's just...
Yeah.
It's called narcissism. Like, we're not going to get past that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of change won't happen, but people are too stubborn to admit when they're wrong. Try to come with compromises that works for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I probably should wear a mask at work only because I inhale so much dog hair. But at the same time, I get so hot and it gets in my mask anyway. And it's just like, It was very uncomfortable to wear them when I had to wear them in the beginning. So, but they've taken our like glass shields down. They've taken the stickers off the floor saying 6 feet apart. There's no regulation whatsoever at our store, at least. And nobody seems to be wearing them, like by choice or not, like employee wise. If you're sick, I have seen people wear a mask to work when they're sick, but not necessarily with COVID, just sickness in general.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing.
Okay, well, enough of COVID, because we only spent like 10 minutes on COVID. How are you guys doing besides COVID in this new year of 2023?
I'm doing okay. I'm recovering from my annual sickness of Nafise gets sick the last week of the year every year. And then she has a lingering cough for like the next 2 months. But it's gotten better, so.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
What about you, Macy?
I'm all right. I feel like all I do is work and then come home and sleep. And like, I haven't even really done any of the activities I enjoy yet, which I started like reorganizing my room. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in a different position than I usually am. I don't think Nafise has seen me since I moved, but
probably, I don't know actually.
But I'm trying to like rearrange.
Wait, you moved again after you did your original move?
No. So she's probably seen you then.
Yeah, I've seen you, I think, once or twice.
At the house? Because we were at the apartment before and then we moved to the house.
No, I have not seen you at the house. I've seen you at the apartment.
She hasn't seen you at the house? Oh, okay.
I think so, but even like in my room, Simone has seen me since I moved here, but I have like moved things around and I'm trying to like declutter my room in an effort to declutter my life. So I feel like it's always a mess and I feel like lazy about it and like bad about it. So I figure if I have less stuff and if I can organize it properly the first time, I'll be able to keep it organized and keep it clean, and that'll make me feel better. And then I won't like get home and feel like I have a lot of shit to do because my room's messy. So that's my like, I'm not going to call it a New Year's resolution because I will fail if I call it that. But I'm just trying to like declutter, and then hopefully I'll feel better in general. I don't feel bad. It doesn't register to me that it's a new year yet. It's still early. I still am having trouble writing the year on paperwork and stuff. Like, I don't really quantify like, oh, it's a new year, I'm supposed to feel different. Like with birthdays and stuff, I'm like, I don't really feel any different. It's just like time is just continuously going.
It's all a social concept anyway.
Yeah,
just like time. Should I say it? Should I say it for the new year? Time is an illusion.
I knew you were gonna say that
because it is broken record.
Yeah. I really want to go back through all of our episodes and like do a count of how many times we've mentioned this.
I promise you'll get annoyed with me. You will.
My God.
I don't understand how people still listen sometimes, but hey. So yeah, as y'all heard me at the beginning, I'm not doing well, but I am pushing forward. Yeah, it's just been a lot. I really need to take like not just like a social media break, but just some type of media break, even though I don't want to, because I feel like I need to know what's going on in the world because it's stuff that affects us. But at the same time, it's just like a lot. And then like personally, I told Macy this, but I didn't tell you, Nafis. We're kind of like in the stages of like getting ready to put my dog Bella down. So she had a vet appointment either a week or 2 weeks from here now. Like, I already knew it was bad. And I don't know if I ever said this on the podcast, but she's like a rescue dog. So we never knew like how old she actually is. She was always older. But yeah, so like when she came back, my dad was already emotional. The vet told him that like in one eye, she's already like completely blind. And the other one, she still has a little sight left. The way she's been in the house where like she doesn't seem like where she is or where she knows where she is. She has like little doggy Alzheimer's. So yeah, my dad got some medicine from the vet. But I don't know, like when I post this episode or like maybe a little bit later, we're probably gonna have to put her down. I'm trying not to get emotional. I haven't been emotional lately, but I know when I was telling someone at work, I started crying because I've had her for 10 years now. Yeah. So it's hard. I know Macy went through this with her dogs, but it's always hard, especially when you've had them for so young and for so long. So that's also another thing where it's just been defeating me. I know once we do it and I get over like the initial of like having her gone, it'll be fine. But right now it's just like, we're just trying to make sure we do it before she really starts suffering. Now she seems fine, but because I never want to see a dog suffer. That's what happened with my first dog, Alex. Like, I feel like we waited too long to where he was like just suffering. So I don't want to go through that again. But yeah, that's just been me.
What is the typical lifespan of a dog?
It depends on the breed.
Okay.
Smaller dogs usually have longer lifespans than bigger dogs. Yorkies apparently can live up for a long time. I don't know the year. And I wish I knew how old Bella is, because like when we got her, we've had her for 10 years, and when we got her, the vet said she was between the age of 5 and 6 or 5 and 7 because of her teeth. So, but I still don't know how old that would technically make her. So, because I don't know if she was on the younger side, like around 5, or like the older side, like 7, maybe 8. I just don't know.
I mean, even if she was on the younger side of 5, 15's a long time.
That's true.
Piper, my Yorkie, only lived to be 13. So, and he had a seizure, but like, so he could have lived longer because he was healthy otherwise. But like, I think that's a pretty good lifespan. And if she's on the older side, 15 to like, I don't think they really go past 18 or 19. At least most of the ones I see in the salon, if I see a Yorkie on my books that's like above 13, I panic a little bit because they're usually really hard to work with because it hurts. They usually have arthritis. They're very small to begin with. Yorkies don't really like having their legs touched in general and their feet touched. So it's like, I always get a little bit worried because I'm like, they're probably not going to be in the best shape and they're going to hate it. And it's sad, because it's like I have to do it. It's my job and it's going to make them feel better in the long run. But it's difficult. So,
yeah. So that's just pretty much where I have been lately. So it hurts to look at her sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, when we had to put Lucy down, Lucy was, I think she was around 13 or 14 as well, but she had cancer. So, and it was in her throat and it was like slowly closing her throat. So we had to make that decision at some point before it got too bad. And I ugly cried for the longest time. And like, I went to work. I had to go to work the next day and I just cried the whole day. I'm like, just don't look at me. Can you try to get my dogs for me so I don't have to talk to people? I'm going to do my job, but I'm going to cry the whole time. So
yeah, my one manager already knows because I talk about Bella all the time and she always asks. So I already warned her when I was telling her the story before I went on a break. I'm like, listen, I will probably take a day or two. You're just gonna have to give me like some headspace, some like realization. Probably gonna have to do some cleaning of her stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do with her stuff, like her little doggy stairs to get on the bed and all that. But
kept like Lucy's collar. And
I'm gonna keep Bella's collar.
Her like favorite toy that wasn't like completely destroyed, and then I just took the rest of it to an animal shelter and donated it. But like I still have Piper's collar around my rear view mirror in my car. And then Lucy didn't have a tag because she hated the tags. She would like rip them off of her. So I just have her collar in like my tub of like other sentimental things from life. So.
Yeah, this is basically a ramble episode. Any rants we want to try to get out the way, guys? Anything going on in the world? I
don't know.
Anything you guys have been paying attention to going on in the world? I mean, I think a recession's already pretty much happening. That's what everyone's talking about. Prices are just
I thought we already started the recession when eggs
Apparently
were like
not.
$8. My gosh.
Every time I think we are, I keep hearing that we haven't, that we're on the teeter, but they're trying not to. And it's just like, can you just say we are already? I feel like we've been, at least since last year.
I feel like it really slapped me in the face when I went to Walmart and like Walmart brand 12, like a dozen eggs was like 7 something. I'm like, never.
Not the Walmart brand.
Yes. And I'm like, never. And I double checked the little tag too, just to make sure I was seeing correctly. And it was like Walmart brand, 1 dozen grade A eggs, like 7 something, 6 something. I'm like, this is crazy. Crazy.
That would probably explain why my dad hasn't bought eggs in about a week.
Yeah.
Because that man eats eggs every day. And I haven't seen them in there for a while.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's not even worth it at this point. Eggs can wait.
But it's like, that's one thing that's just so essential to like food. It's like, what else?
But I researched it though, and I think it had more to do with like the chickens that were laying the eggs and stuff. There was like a bird flu going on, so that's why they had to, that's why eggs were in short supply, which is why the demand for it went up and all that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's happening.
I'm just glad that gas went down in my area. I don't know if it has for you guys, but I have to put premium gas in my car and I could not afford that.
Yeah.
It's like $3.30 in my area, $3.37 I think when I got gas yesterday. So
it's usually depending on where you go, because I do live in a tourist town, so you cannot get gas beachside. You have to get it in town, and if you get it in town, it's like between $2.40 to $3. And then you go beachside and it's immediately like $3.30 to $3.50. So
I think that's how much it is here as well, around like $3.15, $3.20, like that range.
It was like $5 a gallon at one point for premium gas. Like the regular stuff was like $4 or something, but that's too much.
Yeah.
My car doesn't get very good gas mileage, so I have to fill up at least once a week.
And
now I live farther. I live like 30 minutes instead of 10 minutes.
Yeah, so. But all of that factors into it, really.
It does. So,
do you guys have a Costco membership? They sell cheaper gas.
I don't have a Costco.
I was going to say, I don't think I have a Costco's near me. I have a Sam's Club around me, which is basically a Costco's. My dad has one.
You could fill up your gas there, though, because they have cheaper gas.
Yeah, but like the Sam's here, especially with stuff like that, it's just always so busy. And like even shopping in there, even though you get stuff in bulk, I feel like it's just more expensive than just buying what you actually need.
Yeah.
So it's like, am I really gaining anything from this?
I feel like big families benefit from places like that.
Yes. Yeah. But like, I don't know why I'm so bad, especially with my social cues. If there's any place that's just too many people or too crowded, I try to avoid as much as I can.
Me too. It gets chaotic.
It does. And I'm not good in chaos.
Yeah.
Right. Last year, I went to a Buc-ee's for the first time in my life. I about had a panic attack.
You know there's one here, Macy? Did you know they built one here?
I've never been in it. Yeah. No, it was there before.
I've never been to it either because it's always crazy. I don't go in. I'm not going to.
Because I literally almost had a panic attack. My mom's like, "It's the coolest place you'll ever see." Well, not the coolest place you'll ever see.
I'm
but
like,
the
it is a gas
station.
It's a gas station.
Because we have a gas station line here called Busy Bee, and it's my favorite because it's always super clean. The bathrooms are gorgeous. Like they have cool, interesting like snacks and jerky and stuff like that, but it's not nearly as giant as Buc-ee's is. And it was like, I feel like I'm a little salmon in a school of fish and everyone's touching me and I need to get out of here. And the food wasn't even like good. Like we stopped to get breakfast or something. I'm like, this is a gas station like breakfast sandwich. That was not worth going in there.
Yeah. The first time I went to a Buc-ee's was in Atlanta. Apparently that one is the biggest one they have on this side or something, but it wasn't, I guess the time we went, it wasn't
on, like,
as
the
busy.
East Coast, because Buc-ee's I think originated from Texas. So.
Yeah, I think on the East Coast. But it was really cool because like I've never seen a gas station that humongous. And the inside of it was pretty interesting. But like you said, there were just too many people. I'm like, oh my God.
If there weren't so many people, because I have like, if somebody touches me in public, like bump shoulders with me, I want to scream. Like, it's just like this. I'm like, this is not 6 feet apart COVID regulations because that was like a year ago.
Didn't we just talk about how that's over? We spent 10 minutes talking about how that's over.
It's worse though when you're trying to make a beeline to the bathroom and you just like stopped like every 5 seconds. Oh.
I like this. I'm like, this is worse than Disney. I would rather walk through Disney right now than be in this gas station.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't tell you the last time I've been to Disney.
Me either, but I just remember it being crowded.
I think not middle school. That's the last time I've been to, even when I lived in Orlando going to college and I was closer to Disney, I did not go to Disney.
Yeah, I went to Universal a bunch, but Disney was never really my thing. Like, I just wanted to go to the Wizard World. That's it.
Disney's really for, like, I feel like families and, like, people who are really into Disney.
Yeah.
Really into Disney. I've met those people when I went to college because a lot of them, especially going to school for, like, hospitality, a lot of them worked for Disney. You can tell people who were really into Disney.
Yeah.
They took over the world, or they're starting to.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
The only thing that interests me about Disney sometimes is I'll see TikToks of like the crazy food that people eat there. I'm like, that looks really yummy. I'd like to try that, but I don't want to pay $12 for it. So I'll watch you enjoy it and just,
More like 15 to 20, but okay.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Can't afford to eat there. When I was growing up, it was like you eat before we go to the theme park and then you eat after. We do not eat any of the food there.
Yeah.
And if you need to, you get a snack.
Yeah.
Because water's already like $6.
Right? You could have a singular pretzel and if they offer water cups.
Or if you can go up to the nice people in those stands on the outside and just ask for a cup and find like a water fountain.
Yeah, no. Or they had like drinking fountains like in front of the bathroom sometimes.
Yeah. And ask for like a plastic or like a paper cup. That's how you got your water.
Pretty much. So it's like I'm envious of all these.
We're giving tips, guys. We're giving tips to survive theme parks.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like I'm envious because like I see all these influencers on TikTok go to Disney and they're like, what I ate at Disney today. And it's like 10 items. And I'm like, are you crazy? You just spent like my whole life savings.
Do they let you bring the food?
No. Theme parks never allowed you to bring outside food.
Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Not that I'm aware of.
You may have been able to bring like water and stuff because like you
water,
gotta think
but not like food.
You gotta
Because
think about like kids,
I remember
like,
us bringing like what are those called? Like those snack bars, granola bars. Like we were able to bring those in.
Yeah.
But that was also a different time. Now Disney has you like inputting your fingerprints and all that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just if one day I could be successful enough to be able to afford one day of eating at Disney World, I think I've made it.
Yeah.
Because it's so expensive. I don't even want to go on any rides. I just want to, like, it always looks so like now it could just be the like people who make it look really cool, but it doesn't actually taste that good. But it just looks so cool to eat some of the stuff. I don't know.
No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Maybe one day.
I mean, we are on the topic of like theme parks in Florida, and this place continues to disappoint me living here. I just can't make excuses anymore. I just try not to get too political, but like the thing that I've been reading lately has been bothering me, especially now that I hear in Florida and like high schools, I guess they can't teach AP African American studies anymore. And there's already a thing about like the Don't Say Gay bill in like secondary schools. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we're not as progressive as we claim to be. And it's also one of those things where like I have a problem with like, I don't know if we'll ever really know the true history of this country, to be honest, because I don't know what that's going to look like if it ever comes to light. But like, I feel like the erasure of history is just getting worse and worse.
I definitely think that like these like future generations after us are being I don't want to use the word sheltered because I don't like that word, but blinded from a lot of the like realities of things, because I distinctly remember going as like a middle schooler to the Holocaust Museum and them walking us through all of it and having to like see all of those videos and pictures. Like, I'm never going to forget that. I highly doubt that that would be a field trip that would be approved in today's day. You know what I mean? Like that you would be able to go witness like actual videos and photographs of an event that was tragic and happened and like learn about it. I'm sure they probably still teach about it, but I highly doubt that that would be a field trip that we would be allowed to go and like witness nowadays. Same with like a lot of the, you know, like slave trade and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know how much they talk about it because I distinctly remember a lot of the lessons about it. And I'm sure that that was watered down in itself.
I was going to say, even the lessons that we got, that I'm sure it's not even just like the full history. I don't know what the gain is of, well, I do, but I don't want to say of like the erasure of things that really happened here. So...
Right. Well, they say, like, I think we talked about this in our Avatar episode. It's like, depending on which country's writing the history book, you're going to get a different story. So people never want to, like, publish horrible...
Bring back shows like Avatar. Shows like that, I really feel like teach these kids... Okay. And like, I'm not around little kids, so I don't know what type of shows they're watching, but I'm like, are they making shows like that anymore? But like, I feel like as an adult, like I can think back on those type of shows, and even not Avatar, but like other shows I can think of that just really made you think, not only like to learn as like how to interact with people, but just like your own values and like how you should be treating others and just like ways to help others. Like, I just don't know what's happening.
I'm not really around children, so I don't really know what the media is like anymore. But I mean, from what just commercials and what I see online, it's mainly, I think, positive things, like maybe positive in like helping people, but not positive in like you have to see the real horrors of the world in order to like make change. Like, I don't think people want their kids to see that because it's awful, but it's something that like needs to be shown because like we're just going to repeat our mistakes.
I feel like there's a way you can do it to where it's not like like traumatic to the kids. Like, it can still teach them, but again, I'll just bring up Avatar because I feel like that was the best way of like showing horrific stuff, but not really, you know? Like, I'm not traumatized by Avatar. I learned stuff from it.
I don't know if there's an equivalent in today's day that is like that, though. I think it's more like positive and fun colors and whatever, you know, at least from what I've seen, but I'm not around children. So I think it's really more up to the parents on whether they're teaching their kids about these things. But are they?
When we say kids, are we talking about like elementary school or like high school, middle school?
I'm talking about all of them, honestly.
All of them. I would think that high schoolers are more aware of what's going on at that stage. Mm-hmm. But like I remember learning about a lot of things in middle school. That was like elementary school is like they're not going to show you anything crazy, but like middle school was like when we started to learn about like the human body and then about human history. So I distinctly remember that age of my life being like, oh shit, yeah. Things are getting real.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, because I just don't know if that's technically becoming a disservice for the kids now and today when they have to be thrown into the real harsh truth of reality. I
think it's a harsher change. Like, it's better to like slowly integrate things into society rather than, oh, everything's perfect until you graduate high school and then you're dropped into this scary reality. Yeah. I think that's why a lot of like college age kids,
it's dystopian almost.
Yeah, develop like mental health issues and anxiety.
Yeah, you know what it's giving me? It's giving me, I don't know if you ever read this book, Macy, and I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember bits and pieces. It's giving me The Giver.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love The Giver. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I feel like we're running towards. And if you could remember anything about the main character where he actually learned about like differences and like starting, I know they made a movie about it, and I think that movie was awful, but just like the book itself, that's where I could see it's heading towards more than just like, no like Hunger Games or like the Maze Runner or anything like that. Like realistically, they're going to start taking away our color now? Are we all going to be what everyone wants to say when they don't see race, colorblind? So we can all, I don't know. I just don't know.
I think there are enough people that would like freak out and oppose that. Like, I feel like the world's kind of divided on whether, like, parenting styles and, like, government styles. It's like, we want it to be out in the open. We want to teach it this way. And then there's the other people that, like, don't want it. So I think that there's enough that it would never actually happen like that. But whether it's happening subconsciously could be happening as well. But I don't know. I would hope that there would be enough people out there that wouldn't let that happen.
I guess it also goes to the thing, like we were talking about narcissism, like the level of people caring, because there's some people out there, sometimes I'm guilty of it, is like, if it's not affecting you, why should I care, really? So I also think that mindset is starting becoming a disservice, which I understand. Again, we can't take that much information knowing personally because it can become too much. But I just need to talk these out sometimes because I'm like, this is where my mind boggles a lot. Yeah. So
right. I don't know. I think it's all about balance. You know, it's like, how can I live my life effectively without ruining my own self-preservation at the same time helping others? So it's like finding that balance of like, okay, I can help this much today, but then I need to take some for myself too, so that I don't burn out. But how you find that balance is the tricky part. And like, what can I do with the resources that are given to me in order to help the most effectively? Like, I don't know, you know, like what can I personally do to help the situation, except for like trying to educate those around me the best of my ability. But I don't know everything. You know?
No,
that's true. But I also feel like, I guess, learning to be more, I guess, willing to listen to people that when they are trying to educate you on certain stuff. Because I know there's a lot of people where like, that's where my thing where it gets annoying with like certain people where like, I can excuse like some ignorance on certain things because I don't know everything, but I don't excuse like willful ignorance with a lot of people. I feel like I've said this before when I talk about like entertainment, where like you're ignorant on something, someone tried to, in the nicest way possible, either tell you or like try to teach you why this is wrong, but then you continue to do or say that same thing when you know it's wrong. So there's also that. Tricky world we live in, guys. Tricky world.
Yeah, it's also unfortunate, like, in some situations, it's like you can't even speak out because you need to be safe too.
Yeah.
Like, I know that is preached a lot. Like, if you're in this situation and you are the affected party, like, only speak out if it's safe for you to do so, you know, until you can get to a place that you're away from it and now it's safe, which is horrible. But
returning into the giver.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's such a shame because, like, like, me and Simone are talking, we're gonna go see Stray Kids in March, and our, like, biggest concern is, like, the distance that we're gonna have to walk from place to place because we're two women alone. Like, that's our main concern for travel.
Wait, what do you mean walk from place to place?
Like, our hotel to the subway station and the subway station to the arena, like, we're mapping out all of the locations that we might have to walk to because we're planning on both flying there, so we won't have a car. But that's, like, our main concern of our travel. Like,
and the subway is like walking distance.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out with the hotel we stay in. But we're also two, like Macy said, women in cities that we don't live in. I haven't been there since I was 10 and I was with my parents. So that's different between me being there as a child to now as a grown adult woman trying to make sure we're both safe. Again, Atlanta is a very big city, and the way things are going in our economy, a lot of crime is just going up. So, and then just making sure we stay in a safe hotel.
Yeah, there's been more concerns about, like, oh, not like this hotel seems cool. This is around things that I want to do. It's affordable, whatever. Like, those are secondary concerns to, is it going to be scary? Can I walk safely in this place? I didn't even want to bring my car because car theft is so prevalent there. Like, that's my main reason for not wanting to drive there, is because I don't want my car to be stolen or broken into because it's so prevalent right now. So it's like, how do you...
And not trying to stereotype Atlanta. That can be for any city that you go to that you're unaware. But like I said, just the way our economy is going right now, no matter where you are, it's just a lot of things because people are, like, just getting in their desperate stage because we're just tired. Can't afford a lot of stuff. You know, things along that nature. So it's getting rough out here.
It's just kind of sad. It's like, I would rather be planning all of the places I want to go versus can I go to them safely? I mean, we navigated New York. I felt perfectly safe there. Maybe that was my own ignorance, but
it could have been. But then again, Macy, we were in a different time. That was pre-pandemic.
It was. And I feel like we knew somebody there who could direct us, and it was pretty well lit. We didn't go anywhere that was, like, super sketchy. And, like, I told her the other day, I'm like, there were New York is a city that's alive at all hours of the day, and so even though we were walking at like 11 a.m. at one point, there were plenty of lights and music.
11 p.m.
and 11, well, it was, I don't remember.
Well, you said 11 a.m. and it's broad daylight at 11 a.m. so it'd have to be 11 p.m.
11 p.m. So, like, and there were, like, plenty of police officers around, which, like, doesn't always mean good thing. But
no, especially me as a black person. So
I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt until proven wrong. But I felt safe there. You know, like, the scariest thing we encountered was a raccoon the size of a small child. So, like, you know, but things have changed. So,
and I think one time we were in the subway and, like, two people almost got in a fight, but that's fine too.
See, I don't remember that, but that just might be my, like, vacation brain blocking out anything that I don't want to. I don't remember that.
I think so, because I remember that we were walking all day, we were tired, and we got a seat in the subway, and, like, these two guys, I don't remember if one of them was homeless or not, but, like, they were about to have a screaming match, so I was like, get me off the subway.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I do remember asking, like, there was, like, a homeless guy sitting, and we were, like, confused about where we were going, and we walked back and forth a couple of times, and he, like, offered to help us, and at first I was, like, sketched out, because I was worried that he was gonna say something or ask me for something, and he was just very pleasant, and, like, helped us find our way, and it was not a big deal at all. But so I remember that. Like, I'm like, I shouldn't have judged him because he was very helpful and kind. But that was just my point, is that it's scarier than it used to be. Like I wasn't, and I was younger then, but I feel like I was still aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
To like determine whether I was in danger or not.
So that's just where we're at. Hopefully we'll figure it out because it's coming up soon. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll work itself out. But
y'all didn't think of like Uber or Lyft or anything like that?
See, but like that's sketchy as well.
That's just as worse. Exactly. You hear so many stories of like, especially women who like get in these Ubers and Lyfts and like they will take them places or try to take them places that's not in the destination to try to kidnap them. Too many things, just too many things. Or like they'll lift up your information from the Uber or Lyft app because you're renting the thing and they'll like maybe stalk you or just that's just not safe anymore. I'd rather take a train or a bus if I can.
Yeah, I'd rather rely on public transportation that is like established rather than an individual that's allowed to sign up through an app for free as long as you don't have any major driving concerns on your record. Like they don't background check those people.
Do they not? Not even like criminal background?
I don't think so. I think it's just like if you don't have any like major driving things on your record. I don't know if like maybe it's like you can't be a felon either, but I'm pretty sure anybody can do the deliveries, like the Uber Eats and the DoorDash and whatnot. I'm pretty sure anybody can do that, but they're still coming to your home. Like you're giving them your address and allowing them to come on your property to place something on your property. And I don't think that there's any regulation to that. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure anybody can do it.
2023, guys.
It's not like a bus driver who had to go through an interview and had to go through a background check and now works on a bus line. You know, like I feel much safer with that person than a rando that signed up on Uber.
So what about like a taxi then? Or is that too expensive?
Taxis are just as expensive and they don't like to be stopping for anybody.
Yeah, I think I would rather just rely on timed public transportation. Like I know that this bus or train is going to be here at this time and I can get on it and I can pay. Well, I think I paid like $30 when we were in New York for a subway card and that lasted me like the whole time. So as far as I'm aware, MARTA, the subway in Atlanta is decent. So we should be able to get where we need to go using that and then maybe the occasional bus. So depending on where we're going.
Which I'm nervous about because since I live in such a car-heavy city, I've never taken a bus before.
I've never taken one either, so we're about to find out together.
Oh, God.
Did you guys consider renting a car maybe?
It's so expensive.
Or because of the car theft thing, you didn't want to do that?
No, it's just too expensive. Again,
it's just too expensive.
Expenses. We try not to spend as much money as we can. Yeah. We're there for really one thing that's already paid for. It's just everything else.
Yeah.
Not to mention we already have to, once we're there, figure out food. Like, I know the struggle with us trying to find a hotel. I'm trying to find a hotel that at least has free breakfast that can knock off one incentive of, like, food situation. So even if it's just some bagels.
Yeah.
Just to put something in my system.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be okay. We're not going to be there for too many days anyway.
No, not like we originally planned. It's just we just can't afford it. We can't. Yeah, we can't afford a full vacation
and,
like
hang out
that.
And spend time together. But we can't afford the nights in the hotel. Yeah. So not with the rates that are at currently. So
yeah, and I don't know if that's because of the concert or it's just always like that.
I mean, I think we just stayed for a week. Not even a week. Like 3 or 4 nights in a Verbo in the Villages for Christmas, which is like a giant housing community. So we got a house, so it's a whole house to ourselves, and there were 3 of us. It cost us like $1,000 for like God. 3 nights.
Wow!
So I think it's just freaking expensive right now. You can't go anywhere.
Inflation.
That's crazy.
But that was it was a once in a life trip to see family members I haven't seen in years. So it was worth it. But at the same time, it's like we just slept there, you know? So
that's all you could do.
Made like one meal in the kitchen. And then of course we had Mavis. So it's like dog friendly, but I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you guys will figure out like a best possible route. for your event.
I mean, let me figure it out because we spent money on the tickets, but like, it's just things that I didn't think I would have to think about are now very much a reality. Mm-hmm. So
it's also one of those things where it's like, dang, I wish we did this in advance, but at the same time, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, over a month because it's March 23rd.
Tomorrow it'll be 2 months.
Yeah. We got it.
Y'all got this.
It's going to be okay. If we put it into the universe that it's going to be okay.
It'll be okay. It'll be fun, memorable experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I haven't been to a concert since well, that's not true. We went to see Aircom.
I was going to say, yeah.
A bigger concert since the world ended. So.
I can't say much because I saw BTS in LA in 2021. Mm-hmm. So, man, I missed that concert so much. I hope Jin is doing good in his military service. He posted a picture the other day. I hope Wonho's also doing good in his military service. Those are the only 2 people I follow that I know that are enlisted right now.
Yeah.
I saw this morning on TikTok that Jin is the commander of his unit.
Oh, really? So I don't know what that means, but that's great.
I don't know. All I saw was him, like, reading out the, like, you know, when they stand in a line and somebody calls out the orders and whatnot. Like, he was doing that.
Okay.
So.
I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm like, isn't this technically, like, not private time, but how do you have this footage?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can y'all leave these? This is, oh my God. I'm going to go on another rant.
I don't know if it was some public event that,
right.
Like,
if it is, it's one thing, even though, again, not sus, but, like, all the stories of, like, even if they're public events of them, like, selling it to the media. Like, the other day, armies had to basically cuss out a monk because Namjoon went to a temple where he usually goes to sometimes to, like, just talk and, like, probably pray. I'm not really sure. I don't know if he's religious or not. I can't remember. And the monk went and sold and basically told the media what he said. And I'm like, isn't this a private conversation?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, their lives will probably never be private because they're such well-known people.
Because especially in the music now that they keep releasing, they keep talking about how they would like to be treated as human first before their work. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it's already hard enough for them to, like, trust people. And then J-Hope and Jimin are in Paris for Fashion Week because they just got picked up to be, like, brand ambassadors. I don't know about fashion, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not a fashion girly. But it's still great for them. But then, like, I had to see a video of Jimin getting bombarded at the airport. I'm like, I thought we said so many times, stop doing this. He clearly did not look happy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he punched someone in the face. I would have punched someone in the face. Do a Bad Bunny and take their phones and throw it across the whatever. Even though he got backlash for that, but I'm just like, bro, you think he's gonna be happy with you shoving a phone in his face? I was on Bad Bunny's side on that because he literally kept telling the girl to stop.
Yeah.
He's just trying to walk to his car. This is why I said I can never be a celebrity.
Definitely takes, like, a certain type of personality to be okay with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or just having a really hard, strong love of what you do.
Yeah.
Or also just liking the attention. Some people just like that attention. It just depends. I feel like influencers who are like popular but like are not that popular are the ones that are okay with that. But like celebrities, if you notice, they're really the ones who, if they can do their work, I feel like without the invasion of privacy, they would choose that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like without the fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I noticed like with a lot of stories, like a lot of celebrities are very introverted just because they just don't want that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or even when before they got into work, like they're more introverted than we think.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a catch-22 though, because like, yeah, I understand they want to have like their privacy and everything. But if you stay out of the picture for too long, like you become irrelevant.
Especially in today's time.
Yeah. So it's like, what do?
You stay out for like 1 month and everyone forgets who you are.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So like you kind of have to go against like that part of your personality just to continue what you were originally doing as work and everything.
Yeah. But still, I think sometimes people forget, like, no matter what, these are still technically their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, how would you feel if you were just working your everyday, like, 9 to 5, and you had to deal with this extra stuff on top of your job already?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't relate on that level, but...
Yeah.
Also in entertainment, still on the heavy side. It seems like, how do you guys just... I mean, I guess real quick before we go and maybe talk about some lighter stuff before we actually leave. How do you guys feel about like all these streaming services basically like with all the cancellations that's been happening since like the last quarter of last year?
Yeah.
It's insane.
I heard Netflix got rid of so many shows, but like even ones that were doing really, really well too.
Yes. Like there's this one animation that I saw, and that's another thing too. I feel a lot of them are coming for animation, which I do not appreciate because animation is not just for children.
Yeah.
I really need these boomers to get that out of their head. Especially it's like you're an adult that makes animation what. But there's this one show that I like called Inside Job, but they already got renewed. And then all of a sudden got canceled. Or like there's this one show on HBO Max where I think they were pretty much finished with this new season they're going to come out and they got canceled. And that's another thing too, which I guess this shows, that's why I said we're not really in a recession yet, because a lot of people I've been seeing say that I try to keep up when it comes to entertainment. You know, a recession's coming when entertainment's hit the first. Like that's when you can kind of tell things are bad money wise because they're getting rid of all these things to try to cut costs. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I lost where I was going with this train of thought.
Canceled shows, what we thought about it.
I had something else to say though, and I just forgot. Wow. Just tell me your opinions on what you think about these canceled shows, and hopefully it'll come back to me. I cannot believe this. It's just sad, basically. Oh, I was going to bring up apparently because of the recession. I remembered now. Sorry. There might be an upcoming writer strike that's happening. That's why.
Oh, makes sense, actually.
I guess it's been in the plan for a while because that's another thing. Besides all the other jobs, they're just tired of not getting paid, which also always astounds me when it comes to entertainment, how like actors and like people like them are paid like millions of dollars, but like the people who actually like write the shows or like do the camera work for the shows or edit it are not paid the same amount. Isn't that crazy? Maybe that's just crazy to me because someone who wanted to get in the entertainment industry and work behind the scenes, that's like, especially writing. You can't be an actor if you have no material to work on.
Yeah.
The writing is the show or the movie.
Writers don't get royalties or anything like that either.
It depends on the contracts, but still, they're just... And especially like with TV, if you have multiple writers, they don't get paid enough.
But the actors do.
Yes.
They get royalty.
Well, that's another thing, too, with this whole streaming thing that a lot of people in the industry has been talking about, because you don't get as many like royalties or I forget the other word for it, syndication, like cable, because as we've been seeing with everything being canceled, they have the ability to delete the projects off the streaming shows. So if no one's watching them, you can't get paid for them because it's basically non-existent anymore. And they don't make like DVDs anymore like they used to. So they can't even get like syndication funds from that.
I remember when DVDs were such a big thing. Like I go to my friend's house and they'd have like a whole bookcase of just DVDs and VHS. But that's ancient now.
I know, because it's the same with music. Because like I don't think people realize artists for music it's different from every platform. But I think even now with Spotify, I probably went up since I've last looked at this, but they get 0.0000010 for every one stream.
So you would need quite a bit of people to even make $1.
Yes. Especially if you're like an independent artist with like no company or label behind you. You can only imagine. I don't know. Again, like I keep saying, the world is just burning. The world is going downhill. But I was just wondering because, like, I'm afraid, not really afraid, because I feel like it'll bounce back once, I guess, if the economy gets better. But, like, I don't want my source of entertainment to just come from TikTok. I'm sorry. Like, I like TikTok now. I use it now. But, like, even I could tell sometimes when I use TikTok, if I am scrolling and I can't finish one video, that's where I'm like, okay, I need to get off this app.
Yeah.
So I like movies. I like storytelling. I like TV shows. Keep them. I wonder also if, like, we're going to get another rise of reality TV, because apparently that's where reality TV was born from, was the first writer's strike back in the early 2000s. So if no one knew that, yeah, that's why we technically have reality shows today, because they were a lot cheaper to make. You didn't really need as many writers to, like, write scripts, like, production wise. So
interesting.
And I don't know. I just don't know. I'm a little scared for the world of entertainment. Again, especially from a person who has not really watched a lot of American entertainment for a while. But even, like, with my K-dramas, I'm noticing now they're doing the thing where it's more than one season. I was like, this is why I switched, because y'all were one and done. I don't need 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is helping you guys as far as money wise either, or what. I don't know how their entertainment as far as, like, business wise goes over there. So
I'm sure, I would assume that the recession is, like, country based, not like, or I don't know how far it expands. Like, is it just happening to us, our economy?
I don't think so. I mean, I've heard for a while South Korea's economy, especially kind of like us, where, like, a lot of things are rising in prices. People like us, our age, can't really afford to, like, do anything, basically. So, and I don't know anywhere else around the world. I mean, I have been seeing a couple things with, like, protests in, like, Europe and stuff like that. So I don't think it's going good for anybody in the world. I think we're all kind of
just in it together.
Yeah. We're all suffering together.
Well, I don't know. I really hope they come up with some solution where the writers feel like their efforts are, like, being paid off enough, and that we don't go through another writer's strike, because that would be awful.
Well, I think it's happening. It's just when this one girl I follow on TikTok who's pretty up to date, she said sometime in May, maybe it might happen. But
interesting. If something else doesn't take its place. knowing our place, something is always going on.
I feel like I've been the one doing most of the ranting this episode. It's usually a collective.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, like, I find that when I rant, I just feel gross after. Like,
I like to do it just to get it out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I can't do anything about it. So it's like if I get too in my feelings about it, I'll just think about it for too long, and then I'm like, meh. But
usually I'm just one and done.
I mean, it's everybody copes differently. But I find that I try to look for the positive things when I'm trying to be positive. And if I rant about things that I can't change, I just get more sad.
I don't know. I was just agreeing with you the whole time, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Well, thank you.
I didn't really realize that was happening because I don't watch very many shows on Netflix, or I haven't been recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Netflix. I'm sure it's a lot of things, because that's why a lot of the deletion was happening on, like, HBO Max, because of the merger that they had with Discovery. That's another thing. Companies merging.
Yeah, I don't even have an HBO Max subscription, so
yeah,
just a lot. But that's just some things. Anything positive we want to talk about in entertainment? What have you guys been watching that's been good?
The Glory. And I could not wait for You to come out. I believe it's in February.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited for that show.
That's going to be interesting. I also watched The Glory. We were telling Macy because she said she's interested in watching it. That first episode
is brutal.
It's a little hard.
Oh my gosh.
Because of the bullying.
Yes.
And, like, I remember even other K-dramas I used to watch, I was like, this has to be dramatized. This can't be that bad. This can't be that bad. But apparently it's that bad.
I think that was, like, one of the dramas in a very, very long time that I like held my breath while watching those scenes.
Yeah, I follow a guy on Instagram, and I remember someone asked him, and he's like, they're telling it lightly. It's worse. I'm like, what do you mean? It's worse over there.
Yeah.
God.
So, it makes sense that like whenever like a celebrity or something is like accused of a bullying scandal, it's such a big deal.
That's why I stopped talking. That's why I'm like, well, I can't say anything anymore. Because I mean, we have bullying here, but I feel like also because of our laws, they're able to get like punished for it, where they don't really have harsh punishments, especially for minors. I know there's a show on Netflix I need to go back and watch that talks about it more. And maybe we could do a review on that, because even something, and this isn't spoiling anything, Macy, but in The Glory, I don't know if you noticed, Macy, that one mother, or not Macy, the feast. I'm so sorry. The one mother that's getting abused by her husband, and then the girl comes in, the daughter that tries to stop, and she's holding a knife, and then like they're going back and forth, like, do it. And her mom's like, no, don't do it. But the daughter said something, I don't know if he picked up. She's like, it's fine if I hurt him or even kill him because I am a minor, so I will be okay. So that just kind of shows, the difference.
Yeah.
And then the guy I follow on Instagram gave an example of how he knew like two girls in his school, I don't know like if it was elementary or like middle school, that got expelled because they put lead from a pencil in some girl's eye. I'm like, y'all just got expelled for that. You could have blinded this poor girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I keep up quite, I think I keep up quite good with it in the true crime sub genre. And recently there was a librarian that was killed by 4 teenagers. They like ran over her with a van.
Oh my God.
And they are all being charged as adults for attempted murder, and battery.
Yeah, because they knew what they were doing, clearly.
Yeah, like it was some kind of like, one of them was like the ex-girlfriend of the librarian's son. And so she was like egging her new boyfriend to go beat him up. And so they went to his house and beat him up, and she had like run out to the store for a minute and then came back and like caught them in the act and was like trying to take a picture of their license plate, and they just like ran over her.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but they're all,
do they not realize
the one was like 14 years old.
There's cameras everywhere.
About these children today.
Like there's cameras everywhere. Even if you run her over, someone's gonna catch you.
And some guy saw it and followed them until the police made contact. So they were caught right away.
Good.
They didn't like.
Oh my gosh.
But they're just an example of like they're all under 18 and they're all being charged as adults. Even like I think there was like a 14 or 15-year-old one.
But that's what I mean, like here, like something that dramatic, they get charged like that, to where it doesn't seem like the case.
Been, even if she hadn't passed away, but they're being charged with felony murder because she did pass away.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That poor boy though, like.
Yeah, he like didn't even do anything. Like he just broke up with somebody. He didn't know they were coming to like challenge him or whatever.
This is why you need to be careful. Like you need to know what you're dating. Not who you're dating, what you're dating.
Yeah. And I think there was some talk about like some text exchange, but I don't care what anybody says to you via text. You don't go to their house, beat them up, and kill their mom. Like, seriously? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I'm worried about people today.
Yeah.
Especially the youth.
Mm-hmm. So, and shame on that girl for like riling him up. Like she was the instigator. She didn't participate in like the actual assault except for being in the van when it happened. But she wouldn't have happened. If
she should get as much of a punishment.
She should get, if not more, in my opinion. You cannot put people up to shit like that because humans are emotional. You know, like you can manipulate people into doing things just with your words. They're just as harmful as actions.
That's true, especially if the boyfriend genuinely thought that he was like, I don't know what that text was about it or anything.
Yeah, I don't know if she told him that she was like bothering her or something, but
yeah. Wow, that made me upset. I was like, wow.
Yeah. And she was a great member of her community.
Aww.
Like, wonderful lady, truly good person, and like wasted.
It's always the good ones. It's always the good ones.
A librarian, like, they're probably the most peaceful people out there.
Right?
Aww.
I don't know about peaceful, but just the most quiet.
Quiet, but I mean, like, they're not in anyone's way, is what I mean.
Yeah. You have to be outgoing to a certain extent, because I wanted to be a librarian for a while, but they're like the directors of the library. So you have to be outgoing to a certain extent in order to like communicate with your entire group of people and event planning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're important to our community. They provide knowledge and education.
So fund them correctly.
Yeah, they don't get paid nearly enough.
That's also just the theme of this whole thing. No one gets paid enough.
Yeah. Well, I hope that family finds closure.
Yeah. I hope that they get what is appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, besides that tangent, anything else we've been watching besides the gory, which brutal?
I've been watching Blue Lock. It's pretty good. It's an anime about soccer.
Okay. Interesting.
I like my sports anime.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, Macy.
Have been, I recently started collecting the Haikyuu volumes of manga so that I can read it and have it in person, since it's one of my favorites. I want to own physical copies of them.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been reading more than watching things. Like, I have been reading a lot of like webtoons and stuff like that.
I've been trying to catch up on my webtoons. Have you ever read that one I recommended you, Macy? I think it's called Elseed or something. ELCEED.
The one with the cat?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I started it.
I think you would like that one, Macy.
Mm-hmm. I just read the Remarried Empress. It's on Webtoon. I think it's got 2 seasons out, and they're taking a hiatus.
Oh, I usually read a lot of ones, kind of like my shows I watch, where if it's like supernatural, some romance, but it just depends on what type. Mostly supernatural, I feel like.
It's not overly romantic. It's more about like, I think it's more of like a revenge story, but like not like super like down and dirty or anything. It's just I don't know. I don't want to go into the whole plot, but I think it's interesting. I think it's more psychological than like overly fluffy or romantic. It's not really like that. At least it hasn't gotten that way in the 2 seasons that I've watched.
Which one is this one called?
The Remarried Empress.
Okay.
I saw a physical copy of it in Books A Million the other day. Like, they printed physical copy, because I like Lore of Olympus, which is a super popular one.
Oh, I'm way behind on that one, but I have read it.
I am up to date on that one, and I think there's only 2 volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2, out in person, but I do own both of them. I just regret, because of the first one I bought the paperback, and the second one I bought the hardback, so now I'm regretting not buying the hardback in both, because I'm staring at it right now. I'm like, it's going to bother me.
Speaking of webtoons, it's really interesting because like webtoons usually like they'll have adaptations from like a webtoon to a show, but they adapted Attorney Woo from the show to a webtoon. I haven't started reading it yet, but I was like, this is backwards.
Wait, Attorney Woo was not based off of a webtoon?
No.
Oh, this whole time I thought it was.
They made a webtoon based off the show.
Wow. It was that good of a show. Interesting.
Right. I think like Gangnam ID
that was a webtoon
originally
first.
A webtoon.
Business Proposal.
Business Proposal,
yes.
Cheese in the Trap. The movie we did a while ago, Love and Leashes, was originally a webtoon. True Beauty. So that's what I mean. They usually take webtoons and make them shows. This is the first time I've seen a show be turned into a webtoon.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it though, but I haven't started yet.
Yeah.
I subscribe to it, so I get the updates, but I haven't started yet. I was just like, this is interesting. I wonder if they're going to surpass the show also before the second season comes out. That's what I'm curious about.
When is the second season expected to come out?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
We don't know. At least I don't know.
Yeah.
Another show that I recently got into. I don't know if you guys like cooking shows. it's like my guilty pleasure, mostly baking
Me
shows.
too.
Where they like, yay, okay, me and Nikki's on the same page.
Okay, because I'm like, I'm not a big reality person. That's really on anything, especially competition shows, because like usually the people I like and I want them to win, they never win. They're all rigged. So I'm just like this. Right. I'd rather stick to my fantasies.
One that I've been watching recently is called Nailed It.
Okay.
And it's like people who are
I've heard of that.
awful
Yeah.
at cooking. Mm-hmm. No, they're like really bad. And you just like watch them like go down.
Darn, I could have participated.
Are you not good at cooking, Nafis?
If I have instructions, I can do something, but ask me to creatively make something, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
They give them recipes.
Oh, they give them recipes. Yes. Okay.
They give them recipes, but it's like they give them like 45 minutes to create like these intricate like dessert things that are like, it's like fondant and modeling chocolate. Mm-hmm. Like they have to like mold things. So it's just so funny. Like I think it's really funny, and I like the hosts and stuff. They have a different celebrity judge each week. Mm-hmm. And they have one thing where it's like they have like the panic button. If you need like help, it's like 3 minutes of help from like there's like a French pastry chef that's on there as like one of the judges, and then like Nicole and the celebrity judge will just scream like because it's like the panic button, so they scream the whole time, and I'm like, this is funny, and it's Crazy. Not serious.
Yeah.
But they win like $10,000.
That's good money.
Like there's 2 rounds. They go through the first round, and then the second round determines the winner, and then it's over. Like each episode is new people, and then you move on to new people the next episode. So it's like you can watch one episode and then stop. Like it's not a continuation.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
So I think it's pretty funny. They have like a Halloween and a Christmas edition.
That would be so cool though if they made it like an actual season where like the person just like gets better and better or continues. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be nice too, so they can improve their cooking. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. Some people cook okay, and then it's just the decoration. And then other people, it's like, did you just put those eggs in the microwave? You're gonna put eggs in your cake. Like, it's just like I just need this to heat up for a second. But it's like, oh
no, eggs will cook very easily. That's funny.
So, or like, oh, just a little bit of vanilla extract, pours whole bottle. Like, it's just interesting. And then they have to taste it. And Nicole's face on like a lot of these, she's like, oh, and spits it out immediately. Yeah, she's quite funny. I like her and the dynamic between the French guy, because he like doesn't understand half the stuff she's saying. He just like smiles and nods. And then they have like this one camera guy that never speaks called Quest, and he's always dressed in something stupid and random and brings the trophy out, and she's like, talk to me, Quest, and he ignores him. So it's a fun dynamic. I think it's a silly fun show for like people just messing around and trying to have fun, and it's lighthearted compared to a lot of like cooking and
plus
baking.
They get paid to be on the shows too, right? The contestants.
Yeah. I know that the winner wins money, but I don't know if they get paid for it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think a lot of people on competition shows get paid unless they win. Like they'll get certain accommodations for them, like whether that's like flight there or like hotel, but it's rare that, especially stories that I hear on reality shows that I used to watch, whether they're just reality shows or competition shows, I don't think they get paid, or if they do, it's not much. It's like a stipend.
I would imagine that they do, because it's a very short period of time as well, from what I understand. Because like when I watch the other baking shows or competition shows, it's like they're given like 7 hours to complete this like masterpiece, where the first round is like 45 minutes and the second round is 1 hour and 45 minutes. So like that's 3 hours tops that you're actually like making these things. That's not a crazy amount of time. I'm sure they do it in one day. So they probably pay for them to fly there, pay for them to stay, and pay for them to go home. But I would be content with that.
Like that's a vacation,
right? Just to I don't know. I think it's just fun and lighthearted, which like a lot of I prefer the lighthearted competition shows. Not like I don't ever watch any of like Gordon Ramsay's stuff, because I feel like he's mean.
Although apparently cool guy, I see clips of like when he does it with the kids, he's so sweet.
Nice. With the kids he's sweet. But I don't know, it just I don't want to watch a kid cry either, because they feel like they've made a mistake. So it's like I prefer the ones that are just silly or whatever.
Every time I think of Gordon Ramsay, because I don't watch his shows, but I just think of that one clip that turned into a meme where he has the bread between that one girl's face about the idiot sandwich. An idiot sandwich.
I think he's a very talented professional, and he's kind of funny.
He's probably just serious about his work. He seems like a nice guy. I actually heard he's actually pretty nice in person. And I remember I used to, sometimes when I go over my brother's like house, when I visit them, they like that one show that he does. Is it called Hell's Kitchen? When he goes to restaurants and tries to help people that are failing in the restaurant business.
So anyway, I've been watching that. I also like Is It Cake, which is like, they like realistic cake makers make cakes, and then there's like 5 different options, and they just have to decide which one is actually cake. So that's
I remember that was a meme. That was a thing online for like at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was getting scared because things I didn't think were cake were turning into cake.
Yeah,
that's like art in a whole different light.
Nailed it, but
I love art like that. It's cool. It's creepy
and it's edible.
And it's interesting. I want to,
illusion art is cool for sure.
So I didn't get to talk about what I'm doing real quick. Not much, actually. I'm just trying to catch up on some stuff. Like just catching up on My Hero Academia, which has gotten really good. It's gotten good.
I have gotten so far behind in that at this point that I need to start over again and watch it from the beginning.
If you can, Macy, catch up because it's starting to get interesting again.
What episode are you on?
Me or Macy?
No, you on.
I'm caught up.
Oh,
they're releasing new episodes, on Hulu right now. That's recent, so I'm caught up on the latest one that came out like last week.
I watched 2 episodes and then I never went back to it. So
I don't know how. But I understand because sometimes, especially with shonen genres, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. If you've seen Naruto, you've seen them all. Yeah. No offense, guys, but there are certain ones that can tell the story differently. That you have to debate if it will capture your attention. So there's that. I actually still never finished Spy vs. Family. I'm behind on that. Trying to finish Mob Psycho because that ended. I need to finish Chainsaw Man. So before I watched The Glory, I watched this one K-drama that's on Netflix called Somebody. Now, I don't know if it's one of those things where I'm trying to excuse a bad plot and it's actually bad, or I'm sitting here, I'm like, maybe I just not smart enough to understand the artistic value. Girl, I don't even know if I could explain it, because the plot that Netflix gives, I feel it kind of derails after the first episode. It's really about this one girl, and it's not autism. I think she has Asperger's. But basically, she creates this like AI intelligent software to communicate, because she doesn't really have that many friends. And later on in life, because when she was like showcasing it to some type of like science fair or talent show, a woman discovered it and they turned it into a dating app. But then they realized the dating app is being used by this one guy who is basically is going around killing people. But like I said, I feel like the plot kind of derails after the first episode, because we find out who the killer is pretty quickly. I
feel like I started that one, but I never finished it because it sounds familiar.
If you should. It was really, but no, it kind of derailed. I was confused. There was a lot of, I feel like, unnecessary sex scenes, which another thing I have to get used to, because I'm not used to watching K-dramas like that mature with sex scenes. It's not like they don't happen, but it was like, was this really necessary?
Right.
But and then this one girl who was a cop and she's in a wheelchair, she kind of made me mad because like she made like the dumbest decisions in the world. And I'm like, girl, you're a detective. Why are you making these decisions?
Yeah.
Right.
But one thing that I thought was pretty cool about the show is, I don't know if this is something in real life, because like I said, she's in a wheelchair, but she has this kind of like car. And because she's in like an electric wheelchair, there's a way where she can like get in the car from the back seat, where like the back kind of rises up, and she can drive the car with her wheelchair.
That's pretty cool.
I'm like, is this real? This needs to be invested into more for like disabled people. This is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, somebody confused me. I still don't know if I really liked it or not. Again, I watched The Glory, and then after The Glory, I needed to watch something lighthearted. So I started watching the show called Behind Every Star, which is basically about like this entertainment company called Method Entertainment, and they're all agents. So it's basically like story of like how agents deal with like the celebrities they're managing. And I think it's not really a mockumentary, but I think some of the actors are real actors, but I still don't know a lot of like the actors' names, so I can't tell, but like they will mention shows that I know are real. So, or they'll name drop them, especially like on Netflix or like Disney Plus. So I'm like, okay, so you must be the actual actor in this, like that was in that production. But that's kind of cute. So other than that, nothing else really. I feel like I've been busy, but not busy. I've become a Twice fan, apparently, now. So I like their new song, Moonlight Sunrise, which is also interesting because I don't know if Nafis has heard, but I've mentioned this girl group that's here in America 1,000 times called Citizen Queen. And two of the girls from that group, I don't know all their names either, but I think the girl's name is Nina. And is it Katie? But they wrote the song basically for Twice, so because it's an English song. Okay. So I was very proud of that. And I hope more people get into Citizen Queen because they're a very talented girl group. So, but I thought that was cool that they were able to write that song for a K-pop group, Twice. And it's kind of grown. I think you'd like it, Macy. I know how you feel about Twice, but you might actually like that song. They're starting to get into their mature, grown women music. So,
yeah.
I will check out the album when it comes because I think it's supposed to drop in March. Yeah. Rumors are circulating Jimin might drop his solo album in February, so we'll see. Have you guys listened to Vibe with him and
I
Tang
did actually really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it as well.
It took me a couple listens, but like the song says, and I think everyone's saying it's a vibe. So I also haven't watched the clip, but I know there's like a clip of Yoongi's little drinking show where Taeyang is a guest and he's just like fanboying the whole time. So the clips are adorable. But yeah, it's also not an I Was Thinking podcast if I don't bring up BTS.
Right.
And then the ever running jokes of where is Jungkook? His fans are going crazy.
Yeah.
Just let him live his best life, guys. Right. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah.
He's living his best life off the internet. I respect. But when he does come back to the internet, can someone please tell him to change his algorithm on Instagram? Please get rid of that aesthetic that he has. Please and thank you. Just post normally. It's okay. You could post a picture of your finger and trust me, fans will be happy.
Right.
Fans will be happy.
It's like Jungkook, proof of life, please. Proof of life.
Yeah.
I always say that to my mom. I called her last night because she had been gone all day and I hadn't heard from her. I was just like, yeah, hey, do you need something? I'm like, no, it's just making sure you're alive.
Yep. I have to do that sometimes with my dad. Be like, hey, just making sure, you good. You're still alive.
Yeah. I sent you a text like an hour ago. You never responded.
Just checking out.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm not the child in this relationship.
You are the parent.
I'm always at home on time. Like, where the heck are you?
Yeah.
Out having fun with your friends. You need to be back before it's dark, young lady.
The role reversal is bound to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. It seems like that's our show. We've done some good ramblings. I've done some good ranting.
We've had some good discussions too. So yeah.
Yeah.
I always do. I always I'm like, what the heck are we going to talk about? Then it just kind of like
comes out.
It's like,
yeah. So hopefully with my new schedule change, we'll be able to do more of all three of us. So
sounds fun.
But yeah. Yes.
I have been told that starting February 20th, our schedules will be set. So I will always have Wednesdays and Sundays off, which Sundays is the important one for you guys. But,
okay, yeah. Because I'll have every other weekend. So the weekends that I don't work, we can do the Sundays. That should work.
Yeah.
Yay, planning. Because I like to plan, if you don't know. But yes, look out for more of our rambles of TV show reviews. Whatever the next one's going to be, I'm not sure. Me and Macy already discussed the group that we're going to do next, but
we could do The Glory. I want to watch it.
You guys want to do The Glory?
Yeah. I mean, should we end our episode before we start planning?
Yes, we can. But just real quick, just want to say thank you guys for continuously listening to us, our thoughts and rambles, all that fun stuff.
It's like, they're still here.
We're still going strong because of our 5 listeners. No, seriously, though. I know I always sound like I'm joking, but like, it just always shocks me that someone out there is interested. So I'm appreciative. That's why we do this. That's why I do this. So am I the only one that's going to give my thanks? Okay, never mind. I know y'all are agreeing with me.
Yes.
If nobody can see us, but we're nodding our heads in agreement.
Okay. Is there anything else y'all want to say before we go? I guess I will also do the closing. It's always a battle between us. Like, who's going to do the opening? Who's going to do the closing? Because, like, none of us seem like we want to.
I always mess it up. I never say what I think I'm going to say.
It's fine. Okay, but that seems like that's it for us.
Thanks for joining us. Kind of a weird one, but because we're all over the place. But like, that's, in case you didn't heard, this is I was thinking tangents. Yes. That's all we do, apparently. Yes. We need to
come up with the catchphrase. Like, our show's I was thinking, but it's like I was thinking a tagline. We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to us. This has been an episode of I Was Thinking. We've been the host. You can find us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter of I Was Thinking Pod. Will we make a TikTok? I know we discussed this last time.
At some point, maybe.
I gotta figure out a good format for it, because I don't want it to just be a black screen of us talking. So and not just a picture either. Like, I want it to be something interactive and fun.
Okay, some people just post black screens and they seem to be getting a lot, but we'll see.
Okay.
But yes, that's where you can find us. Email iwasthinkingpod@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, no concerns, and it'd be great if you can rate us some stars. So again, I've been Simone, that's been Macy, and that has been The Feast, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.